Alright, this is my review of the New Balance Ionix Minimus dual-purpose multi-sport shoe. I bought these shoes because the winter is coming up and I needed something a little bit warmer. My preferred training shoe for running is the Vibram 5 Fingers Bikila, and I also wanted something for, I recently did a race on some rocky terrain and I needed something with a little bit more protection and a little bit more cushioning. I've tried a few trail shoes, but I haven't found any that I really liked, and I saw the tread pattern on this and it looked like it could probably work on some trails, and it's got some decent cushioning. I think it has like a 4mm drop, 4 or 5mm drop, but the thing about this minimal running shoe from New Balance as compared to some of their others from the Minimus line that they put out is that it utilizes what they call a performance last, and as you can see here, is especially as I stand up, is even though this is a 4E wide, I have a wide foot, but the big toe is really sticking out there, and this is I have a decent room at the end of the toe, but my big toe is really sticking out, protruding over the edge of the foam there. And what they did here is, instead of using what they call a natural last, they used a performance last, which narrows at the toe box. And I don't know why they would call that a performance last. I mean, any human foot that is normally shaped is widest at the toes, and why they think that that would be a performance advantage to have a narrow toe box doesn't really make sense to me. If you compare it to something that they consider a natural last, it's quite a bit wider at the toe box as compared, and this green one on the left here is the New Balance Minimus 730. This one on the right is the Ionix, and the Ionix, this is a 4E. They don't make it in a 2E, but I have a wide foot, so I got the 4E. And as you can even compare it to the one on the left, the 730, the 2E, the 2E is even much more wider than the Ionix 4E. And I found that pretty interesting, is how much wider that natural minimal last on the left is, and how much more toe splay and how much more natural it feels to have on the New Balance Minimus 730. But this doesn't quite have enough protection for rocky trails and stuff like that, so that's why I wanted to give this a try, the Ionix. And you know, I think it's kind of strange that they would call this something with a narrow toe box performance last. I don't see how that can aid your performance in any way. But anyways, I mean, if you hold up, you can see how much overhang, how different it is. If I compare it like this, you can see that there's quite a bit of material. These are both 10.5. This 730, see, that's where my toe would want to naturally go and spread out when I'm landing and catching my fall and cushioning my fall. But this one doesn't really allow that natural extension of the toes. Anyways, I don't think I'm going to even take this out for a run because it's so uncomfortable. But I don't recommend this shoe if you have a wide foot at all, and you don't like that. If you've gotten used to shoes like this, 5 fingers, that are what I consider a performance shoes, that allows your toes to splay out naturally and really use that propulsion that you get from the big toe, I wouldn't recommend the New Balance Ionix. It's uncomfortable. I don't like it at all. You can see my toe overhanging there, even though this is a 4E, and I don't know. It's maybe if you have a more narrow foot, it may work, but it is pretty flexible. I mean, that's one thing that's really nice about it, is a lot of times I can tell how much I'm going to like a shoe by how it flexes, and this is not taking a lot of force to flex the shoe. The upper feels nice, I tried on one of my reviews that I did was the New Balance Amp 1010. It's a trail shoe with a rock plate in the forefoot, and that's really stiff. And that's one of the reasons that I didn't keep that, is because I just can't. I don't like a shoe that's that stiff in the forefoot. And the uppers on the 1010 really dug into my feet, and they're really rigid and plasticky, and there's also way too much material on the 1010 up here. But this upper is pretty nice. It's soft, and there's nothing rigid to dig into your feet. Kind of like the 730, it's kind of minimal on the uppers. But yeah, I mean, if you take out the insole of this and you just put your foot on it, you'll see how much your toe is gonna. I mean, I have pretty wide feet and pretty ugly feet, but you can see how much that toe goes over to the side, and that's just something that I can't really deal with. Yeah, that's my review of the New Balance Ionix. Believe it is the 3090. So that's my take on it. Thanks a lot.